Carroll bringing it forward. Thompson's making the run. Carroll hangs on to it though. Still Davy Carroll. Could go all the way here. Oh, what a goal!
Hello, I'm Phil Catchpole and welcome to this week's episode of Ringing the Blues. Coming up on this week's show, we have all the action and reaction from the trip to Bournemouth, plus the Ainsworth derby as Wycombe took on QPR at Adams Park. We'll hear from Uche Ikpeazua and Gaz.
Be more clinical, don't eat too much turkey.
Plus, I chat with football author Daniel Gray about his latest book, Extra Time. But first, we may not be able to go anywhere anymore, so let me transport you to Mexico City for the results with Uri.
We are ringing the blues from Mexico City. My name is Uri, and these are the results for the Championship League. Norwich City 2, Cardiff City 0. Birmingham City 1, Middlesbrough 4, Brentford 3, Reading 1, Huddersfield Town 2, Watford 0, Luton Town 0, Bournemouth 0, Millwall 1, Nottingham Forest 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Coventry City 0, Stoke City 1, Blackburn Rovers 0, Swansea City 2, Barnsley 0, Wycombe Wanderers 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Another tie, another week. But this time we have to say goodbye to the year. Let's hope for a better 2021. Let's all hope for that. And Cherboy Spanish this week is very simple. Stay safe and happy Christmas. How do we say that in Spanish? Stay, mantenerse. Safe, seguros. Manténganse seguros, or simply, cuídense, take care. And Happy Christmas. Well, you know how to say Happy Christmas? It's like that Jose Feliciano song, Feliz Navidad, Happy Christmas. So, cuídense y Feliz Navidad. Stay safe and Happy Christmas. Until next year, with the Wycombe Wanderers, the Chairboys, and Ringing the Blues from Mexico City. Back to my amigo Phil Catchpole at the Ringing the Blues studios in England. Adios.
So Wycombe headed down to the south coast after a sticky run of results, looking to get back on the board away at Bournemouth.
We're well pleased with where we are. We're in the Championship, competing week in, week out. We're finding our feet still. We're still within a shout. I think there's going to be 5 or 6 teams scrapping for 3 places. We just got to finish above 3 of them.
Cook with a heavy touch allows Patterson to have a go, and Patterson with a very, very late tackle, and that could well be a booking for Patterson. It looked to be a genuine attempt for the ball, and it's a red. Patterson has gone. He certainly mistimed it. I wouldn't say it was malicious, but Wycombe are now down to 10 men, possibly a game-defining moment here. 0-0 the score, but Wycombe are down to 10 men on 63 minutes. Into the box now, Brooks continues his run, cuts it back and into the back of the net, and it's Julius Stanislas with the goal, and it's incisive football from Bournemouth finally. Brooks dances down the right hand side and cuts it back, and Stanislas can't miss that, and it's Bournemouth 1, Wycombe 0. Gareth, it's another tight defeat, but there's £100 million worth of signing fees for Bournemouth on the pitch at the kick-off tonight. You must take great heart from that performance again.
Listen, I can't wait to see what people are going to say about that performance. So that result, top of the league, absolutely outstanding Wycombe. I've absolutely put my name right to that. They needed a sending off, which was never a sending off. You look at it, it's never a sending off. It's his first tackle of the game. It's not reckless, it's nothing. And then there's fists raised at the end and nothing's done. I mean, we are not getting anything going for us decision-wise. Just absolutely so proud of those players tonight. I thought they took top of the league all the way. We keep playing like that, we will be more than fine. I'm not just talking about survival. I'm talking about let's look at climbing this table, because that was outstanding tonight from us.
Alex Patterson's straight red card is the incident you're talking about.
Yeah.
Had that been the other way round, had that been Lewis Cook on Alex Patterson, would that have been a red, do you think?
Listen, if my players start running 35 yards across the pitch, all 11 of them, to get a man sent off, I mean, I was really disappointed at that. You know, I thought there was nothing in the tackle. I thought the referee didn't react at all until everybody ran and charged towards Alex Patterson, and I just think that's just making that situation, inflaming it, but I feel for him. He's a young kid, he's coming in, it's his second start in as many games, and I thought he did it really well. Just didn't deserve to be sent off, and that changed the game. Bournemouth scored their goal against 10 men. They're going to do, there's £100 million on the pitch against us, you know, and I cannot say how proud I am of those boys tonight. I mean, Begovic has made bigger saves than Ryan Allsop tonight. To say that after they've ripped Huddersfield and Barnsley apart the way they did, really proud. I thought tactically we got it right. The boys then executed it perfectly, and I'm absolutely buzzing with that performance. You know, we're going to go again, and we'll take teams to the cleaners if we keep playing like that.
Even at 10 men, McCleary and then Horgan caused problems as well as Fred Onyedinma.
I mean, you know, Fred's come on. Horgs has had a fantastic cameo at the end there. You know, his legs were obviously tired from all the games he's played. He's been one of our best performers. Gareth McCleary's work rate was phenomenal. Bayo again, you know, I'm gonna hopefully get him back for Saturday. And Uche, I thought, showed just what he's going to be able to do, you know. But honestly, we cannot play any better. We're just shy of putting it in the goal. I'll put my name to that any day. I'm so proud of the boys, and you know, the owners are fantastic. The club itself are brilliant. I wish this game would have been at home. I don't think that would have been a red card at all, and I think we would have probably gone on to get something out of this. But unfortunately, the red card determines what happens, and we lose the game, but we haven't lost the war. That's a great performance.
First time there's been away fans, or you come as an away club to a ground with fans. Did those 2,000 fans maybe influence the ref too?
Of course they did, you know. You got fans of paying for a red card as well. It happens in football. We're just on the end of a few poor decisions in my opinion, and like I say, I don't want to get myself in trouble. Let's talk about again how good we were against the team that was in the Premier League last year, who've got a fantastic manager, Jason. I like him a lot, you know, and he's done a great job. But I'm so proud of my boys, and we'll keep pushing, keep working like that. Can't wait to see where we end up.
You keep the faith with this squad, Gareth, and you know the result. You just feel it's just round the corner.
Yeah, the run's just round the corner, you know. I said to the boys before the game, I said, why can't we be the shock tonight? You know, think of all the reasons why we can be the shock, and I actually think we're probably still a little bit of a shock that Wycombe didn't get turned over tonight. I thought it was a real good performance. Like I say, please watch it. Watching what we did to an ex-Premier League side, I was just buzzing, and we'll go again Saturday now.
QPR on Saturday. You're loved at QPR. What would you give to get that 3 points on Saturday?
I will give anything, you know. I mean, I don't need to give. My boys give, you know. We all give. It's what Wycombe Wanderers is. We don't take. We don't expect anything of anyone, but we give plenty. And if we keep giving away we did tonight, we'll be fine.
Ikpeazua, it's been a long layoff. He's very good cameo tonight. Is it a case of just edging him in before Christmas, or will he play a bigger part Saturday?
I'm not going to give my team away, Phil, so I'll let you ponder over that one. But I thought he did well, and you know, I thought all the subs who came on tonight did really well. Lost Dominic, we'll have to have a look at that one. But again, smiles on my face. I can't tell you how proud I am. I can't tell you how buzzing the dressing room is after that performance. Results, yes, of course they're important. Well, I've said it for so long now. Performance is my bag, and that's good enough to stay in the Championship.
Bemoaning decisions, but also the injuries. Dominic Gape again. I mean, what's he got to do to get a break?
Yeah, the midfield seems cursed, doesn't it? Thompson, Gape, Patterson now suspended. But I thought Nick Freeman came in and did really well. David Wheeler is like a Swiss Army knife. Jason McCarthy also is like a Swiss Army knife. You know, they've got plenty of different you know, strings to their bow. But yeah, we'll see. We'll get it together Saturday, I'm sure, because QPR are a very good side as well. First time in a long time I want QPR to get beat, but I'm hoping for the 3 points Saturday.
Uche, excellent cameo from yourself. It's been a long time coming because of the injuries.
Injuries and illness. I've been very unfortunate. I had a hamstring injury and then I was struck with COVID, and it's been a nightmare, to be honest. I haven't been able to get going, and it's been very frustrating. Obviously, the manager brought me in and we had a plan of how we wanted to play, and I was supposed to be obviously a massive asset to what we have. And obviously we got Bale there, who's been brilliant as well. So he's played more games than he was supposed to. So it's been tough for me. I can't lie. I've waited 7 years for this opportunity to play in the Championship, and I've just been unlucky. But I'm back and I'm excited now.
Long road to recovery. Is it a case now of just building up the minutes, or do you feel you're ready to start a game soon?
I've worked so hard. I've been in the gym, even on my days off, I've worked so hard. And I've managed to keep myself reasonably fit. Obviously, I'm not match fit. So, I'm just taking every game as it comes, but I know what I'll bring to this Wycombe side. I know what I'll bring. And if I stay fit, I know what I'll bring. So, yeah.
Wycombe fans will remember you in the Cambridge United shirt against the Chairboys, but you gave them a real glimpse tonight of what's to come from you in a Wycombe shirt as well. You're strong, hold the ball up, and you're obviously going to like balls into the box.
Yeah, definitely. I think the way we play is perfect. The gaffer wants me to simplify it, and I feel as if when I've been at my best in my career, it's been simple, and I feel as if the way we play, it suits me as well. So, I showed them a little bit what I'm about, but I've been analysing, I've been working close with the gaffer. He's been amazing. I don't know what I'll do without him, just constantly encouraging me, even though I've been down, So, I'm going to continue to work with him. He's going to get the best out of me, and I'm going to get the best out of this team.
And you said you had COVID. When did that come?
Well, I was recovering from a hamstring injury, and I was hit with that during my recovery, and that set me back for another 10 days. To be honest, maybe the 6 weeks that I was out for was a blessing in disguise, because I just wasn't myself. My energy levels weren't there. I wasn't right, and it's taken me this long to actually fully get back to myself in terms of I feel strong now, I feel fit, and I didn't have that. And I think maybe it was a blessing in disguise, because it affected me, because I had it from October, but it took about another month and a half before I was finally, okay.
That's a long time as well. So the symptoms were there, and was it diagnosed quite quickly?
Yeah, it was. It was diagnosed very quickly, but it is what it is, and it happens. But I'm back, and it's more hunger in my belly, So I'm back with a vengeance.
And the belief in the squad, the results aren't going for Wycombe at the moment. Things seem to be going against the club in terms of some decisions and the breaks in games perhaps, but the belief still seems to be there.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate, because I did not think that was a red card as well, but I think the reaction, kind of made things worse than what it actually was. But Pato played so well today again, and he's been unlucky today. But things haven't gone against us, but we'll get our just rewards. We've got a great squad, and I feel as if we've got more than enough to stay in this division. I genuinely believe that.
Wycombe are a tight unit. It's the culture here that's got Wycombe into the Championship. You're a new boy, so to speak, joining in the summer. How have you found that changing room culture here?
I think it's well suited to me. I knew quite a few of the boys, so it was easy to blend in, and we don't have any bad eggs. So yeah, I blended in well in the culture, and it's like, the manager, you want to play for him because he's a top guy. I'm not just saying it because he's there, but you want to play for him because, he gives you that belief. So yeah, it's really good.
Well, fingers crossed we're talking about your first goal soon.
Yeah, definitely. Saturday.
So the Cherries fans were relieved to get the 3 points and top the table momentarily after beating the Chairboys. Here's what their fans thought after the game. The Gazzy Bee.
That was a very difficult game, your typical banana skin, and yet we found a way to prevail. We also managed to play some very nice football in spells. Top of the league for now.
Doofus.
They were stubborn opposition, so it's a good win when you stand back and look at it. But it was strange to witness a breakdown of the greatest strength we possess, the closeness of the squad. I'm not sure what I witnessed there. It was well out of character.
Charlie 124.
An ugly win, but 3 points is all that matters sometimes. Stanislav was out of order. Sturridge had every right to go for that shot, And Stanislav, being the senior experienced player, should be encouraging the younger players, not shoving them around.
Slow down, Derek.
That performance was a bit embarrassing. I get that every game is going to be a battle in the Championship, but we were hanging on for dear life against a 10-man mid-table League One side. We only won because of Begovic, basically.
Red, till I'm dead.
What bemused me was Wycombe's tactics. After about 20 minutes, it was plain to see that we weren't clicking and were off our game. At that point, why didn't they have a go at us? Some of their balls in the box were begging to be hammered home, but instead they tried to kill the game and frustrate us. Their time wasting was embarrassing too. A yellow card to Ainsworth after half an hour would have G'd him up.
Bits.
Wycombe were exactly as I thought they would be after talking to a Norwich supporting mate of mine last week. He said, just get the 3 points and thank God you don't have to play them more than twice this season.
AFCB fans.
Wycombe are in this league courtesy of an unfair promotion via points per game. And I shall be delighted if they go back to League One, where they belong.
Wimborne Cherries.
Actually, I thought Wycombe were okay. They just completely lack anything up front.
Kisika.
A word on our opponents. There are ways to play the shut-up shop game, and, in contrast to Rotherham, I have a lot of respect for what Wycombe did out there. There were still a lot of free kicks, but it wasn't a nasty niggly game the way it was against the Millers. Yes, it was a bad challenge that got a deserved red, but that wasn't indicative of how they approached the whole game. They committed men forward when attacking. It may not be refined, but to be fair, they gave it a genuine go. Good luck to them. I hope they stay up.
Stay tuned because we have all the action and reaction from the QPR match later on in the show. Right, so on the line now is football author Daniel Gray, whose new book is out right now. So if you need something for Christmas for a loved one who loves a beautiful game, or maybe you fancy buying it for yourself as a treat after a tough year, this is a great book. It's a follow-up to his book Saturday 3 p.m, which was all these wonderful little short stories about what makes going to football so beautiful. He's got a book out now called Extra Time with 50 more of these wonderful stories. And the first one is about local radio commentators. So I'm a little bit biased about that one. Daniel, how you doing, mate?
I'm all right, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's a real pleasure, and I love your book. The first one I read of yours was Hatters, Knitters and Railwaymen, which was wonderful, although there was a missing chapter on that. There should have been one on Chairboys.
There should have, I was just thinking that, as you said that, Chairboys, and unfortunately that book was governed by a rule that I'd go and see 12 clubs that won something or were relegated in the year I was born, because I was just turning 30, but it meant missing out on so many great nicknames, thinking, Chairboys being right up there, obviously.
That was such a great book, though, because it really delved down into the history of where these teams came from in this country. And Wycombe aren't unique in the fact that they come from an industrial background. But yeah, there's so much heart and soul in football, isn't there, which you seem to really sort of rejoice in discovering and telling people about. Because I don't think a lot of people are aware of the historical context of a lot of the football teams in this country. No,
and that's why the nicknames are such a wonderful thing when you go through them. And when the industry is connected to the town, it's always fascinated me. I've always seen football as part of social history, an intrinsic part of social history, really. And in that book, particularly, I was able to tease that out, really. Sometimes, I live in Scotland now, and sometimes some of these places, the only time you hear these names, like, say in Scotland, Alloa or Cowdenbeath, is in the football results. And these were places with great industrial backgrounds, and the football clubs came from that. So it's important to write about the football, because sometimes it's the last remnant of something as well. But yeah, absolutely all about the heart and soul. I can see the imperfections of football, and the things that frustrate fans frustrate me as well. But, you either go, I'm too cynical, I'm going to walk away from this game, or you try and remember why you loved it in the first place and recapture that, I think.
So your latest book is a follow-up to your excellent Saturday at 3 p.m. This is Extra Time, 50 more short essays about the beautiful game. But, football fans, we all love to talk about the game itself. But what you've done is really
I think what a lot of football fans who go to football will really resonate with is find those little habitual things, those little quirks and those characters that everyone sees and have part of their match day routine, which of course this year has been cruelly taken away from all of us.
Yeah, I was glad to see you back there for a short while, weren't you, at Adams Park? But yeah, it was lucky I wrote the book over about a year ago, actually, the way these things are, and it was edited over the spring and the summer, because at the moment, as you say, it's hard to really remember what a lot of these things feel like. So, you know, as you say, it's things like local radio commentators and our shared love of them, club lottos and sellers, to things like indirect free kicks in the box and late fitness tests, animals on the pitch, the roar after a minute's silence. But they're absolutely, some of them happen between 3 and 5 o'clock and some of them happen around the whole day, because that's the point for us that go to matches. It's the whole day. It's waking up and then a few seconds later remembering it's a match day today. I'm going to a match, or especially an away day. There's nothing greater than waking up and having an away day to go to, I don't think. And yeah, we're missing it at the moment, but I hope the books are short, but they hopefully plug the gap for a couple of hours and get people thinking about what their own little delights are in this game. And God, we can't wait to get back, and this, maybe a bit of a filler in between.
Yeah, we had fans back at Adams Park, and for the second game, I went looking for in the car park when I come into the ground. I normally buy my 50-50 match day ticket from the same seller. Yeah. Clive, if you're listening to this, hello mate, I hope you're doing well. I've never once had a win. No. And in the back of my mind, the day that I don't buy a ticket from Clive and I go somewhere else will be the day that he would have sold me the winning ticket.
Yeah, absolutely right. These are the great rituals that add to that sense of belonging that we all have for our own clubs. And what's been nice in writing these books is people getting in touch with their own version. So I don't give specific examples of players or clubs. I want people to imagine their own version of these things. They're supposed to be universal. So you mentioned lotto tickets, and everywhere I've been, there's someone ripping up the lotto ticket at half-time when it's read out and chucking it in the air, and that just happens everywhere. It's all of these little things, and I benefit. I go to a lot of matches on my own when I'm not going with my little girl, and so I sort of see things differently. I take time. I'm not really chatting to anyone, so I'm watching all of these things, and that helps with observing them, definitely.
Where was your sort of football kind of education, Daniel? What's your team? Did you have a regular team you went to?
Middlesbrough, if you can call it an education. That's where I was born, and so I've been going to Borough since '88. Was my first game, and I live in Edinburgh now, but I still travel down at least once a month to home games. I have a season ticket at the Riverside, and then otherwise York City. Moved to York when I was young, so I also used to go to Bootham Crescent, which was where I first would have come across Wycombe Wanderers, of course. And now I travel all around, so I've been to Northern and Northern Premier League this year with there being not much crowd allowance, if at all, in Scotland. And also when crowds are allowed in Scotland, I love to travel around the clubs here, because there's a very great tradition here and a great heritage and fantastic authentic grounds. But yeah, Middlesbrough, if you can call it an education, then that was it.
And so you've got your habit, your stadium you used to go to, the seat, the people around you, all the habits for your own club. But when you remove yourself out of that and go to another football ground, it kind of takes you out of that comfort bubble, and it allows you to sort of almost be kind of a spectator of not just the football, but how the club operates on a Saturday and witnessing all the things that you would do on a Saturday elsewhere, perhaps. Yeah,
absolutely right. And so you'll see these things in common, but there'll be the differences, whether it's the scarf colours, the stuff in the club shop, the different statues. It's all the same and yet it's all different. And I've always loved that about it. Nothing thrills me more than going to a ground for the first time, a new ground that I've never been to. I just love to sense the town first and walk around there, and then walk around the ground and look at all its nooks and crannies and its different habits and its different ways of running, and yet those things in common, and what always comes up with that is the smell of the burger wagons, which is something, I'm vegetarian, yet I love the smell of the burger wagons. I inhale that. I embrace that. It must be the onions, that's what it is. But those things, they're different at each ground, and yet we share them, and I think that's a wonderful thing in quite a fragmented world.
Smell is so important to football. I remember as a kid being on the terrace at Adams Park, and before that Lokes Park, and I remember getting a real pang of memory last year. I went to a stag do in Germany, and we went to a Bundesliga 2 game, and people were smoking on the terrace, and the smell of that. I mean, I hate smoking. I've never smoked, but to smell cigarette smoke at the football, I was 8 years old again, and it's amazing what these senses can do.
Absolutely right. That's such a good example, because like you, I've never smoked. I grew up losing my grandparents because they smoked about 40 a day, hating the idea of smoking, and yet I walk past a certain type of cigarette now when someone's smoking outside a pub or an office, and I love it. It takes me back to Ayresome Park immediately. It's such a strange thing. I would buy that in a jar, which is just such a weird thing. You're absolutely right. How strange, but brilliant.
You mentioned animals on pitches. I think Wycombe have got a unique story to add to the animals on pitches debate, because in the beautiful woodlands around Adams Park, around this time of year, there's pheasant and partridge shooting around the Dashwood estate. And the partridge, not the brightest of animals, but I think the floodlights have a certain charm for them. And they've played more than their part in match days at Wycombe Wanderers throughout the years, flying into the roof of the stand and having to be removed by goalkeepers, running into the penalty area, being cheered on by the away end. I've even had one removed from the press box where a partridge flew into the advertising hoarding and stunned, landed on the commentary box of our commentator colleagues from BBC Stoke. So yeah, I think the animal kingdom definitely has a part to play at Adams Park, but people love to see things like that, don't they?
Yeah, that was just something I must have been aware of it at some time, but I've forgotten it, and that is utterly charming. But again, that's a general theme, but with your own specific tint on it, which that really rings true. That chapter seems to have really pleased people. I had the pleasure of research meant watching hours on YouTube of these things and recalling lots of incidents. And wonderful, and it's still happening. That's the thing with these delights. I'm not writing about things that have disappeared from the game. It's still happening. You know, there was the cat at Goodison Park last season, and the commentator inevitably ends up commentating on it, and the stewards tried to catch it, and a goalkeeper trying to bringing the animal towards his fingers and then failing. Just wonderful. It's those things that bond us all, definitely.
And the book is out right now. Where can people find you, Daniel? Because it's not just this book. I urge people, if they've not read your previous books, to kind of stock up over Christmas and get some books to get stuck into. So where can people find you?
Oh, that's very kind, Phil. On my own website, that's danielgraywriter.com. That goes through everything. But on all the usual places, you get your books online, and they should be in your local shops as well, if they're open, depending on all sorts of restrictions at the moment. But yes, the usual places, and on Twitter at _Gray_writer. And
what's next for you? Have you already started working on your next book, or your ideas for your next book?
I'm hoping to do another football travel book on this season, because the mission of trying to watch football at the moment has been quite something, and I want to mark this momentous, tragic, weird time we're living through, and the only way I know to do that is football, really. The effort to try and watch and be at a game at the moment, it feels like, football's not allowed anymore, that it's prohibition, and almost as if Bovril has become moonshine or something. So I really want to write about that. I've been to some fascinating towns in the quest to see football, and tomorrow I'll be in Cowdenbeath talking of fantastic towns.
Do you think this whole year, this whole situation, has really put the fans front and centre into what is so great about football? Because everyone, even people who don't know anything or like football, talk about how it's so weird to not have fans there. There was always a danger that TV was going to take over, but do you think that's kind of a bit further away now?
I really do, and it's been brilliant hearing players and managers mention it, because that relationship's always a difficult one, isn't it, between management, players and fans. And I think they've taken on board what we bring to it in some ways, and we've missed them. Boy, have we missed just watching footballers. There's a chapter in the book about watching a sublime piece of skill, and it just allowed me to think what artistry there is in this game. You may laugh when most of the game is someone clogging it long and two-footed tackles, whatever, but when you see something beautiful or brilliant, you think, this is men and women doing this with their feet. I was able to just think about the pure beauty of this game. There isn't another sport like it. So we've missed them, we've missed that, and I think they've missed us. And I hope it has recalibrated it, because it is soulless trying to watch the feeds. And you do, it's your team and you love them, but there's no doubt, I've grown so sick of seeing the Riverside empty now. I find it really tough to watch. In fact, the highlight is Neil Warnock's press conferences, to be honest with you.
Well, things are bad, aren't they? Well, we look forward to finishing our season in the Championship, hopefully safe above the dotted line at Middlesbrough on the final day, I think.
Yes, absolutely, and maybe there'll be some fans there. That's what we seem to be saying every couple of weeks. this year, isn't it? But I hope he stay up, because I certainly want to come for that away game with the Pheasants and all.
Well, I think we kick off 2021 with a home game against Middlesbrough. Hopefully 2021, a year that will be great for football fans once more, and a bit of normality comes back. But Daniel, thank you so much for your time today. All the best to Borough and all the best for the book. And we'll hopefully speak again soon one day.
Cheers, Phil, and good luck to the chair, boys. See you sometime.
What a top guy Daniel is. Here he is reading the opening chapter of Extra Time to give you a little taster of his new book.
The local radio commentator sits up there at the centre of the main stand, an alert seagull on a chimney pot. His hands clutch a microphone as if in prayer. He starts to feel a chill in late August, and it doesn't leave him until the following May. This is a stoic role, powered by soup in styrofoam cups. To the absent fan, his words are a life support machine. He delivers matchday to thousands of ears unable to be there, in doing so remotely adjusting heartbeats. The local radio commentator grows to be the voice of a team, and even its town. His words, accent, tone come to represent events. He is there for home games, of course, welcomed in and nodded through from security guard to steward. You need him for missed fixtures. And for the casual and partial fans who rarely venture to the ground, he is the match. It is away games, however, that elevate his importance. Each week he tootles across the motorway network in a busily branded radio station car. It is too small for him, and certainly too small for the summariser he chauffeurs, usually a retired ex-player from your side who can talk on demand. On air, both are unapologetically, splendidly biased, a fine thing in a world of sensitivities, eggshells and protocols. They share and proclaim your affinity and your blindness, and their moods swing to the same pendulum as yours. This is the commentary of we, our, and us. The local commentator pulls you from the living room and drops you on the terrace. Vivid sketches from faraway towns fix sharp and clear behind your eyes. When you hear your own supporters singing from some hidden corner, belting a hymn you know well, you are almost there with them. Were it possible to plunge a hand into the radio, grab some of the atmosphere and splash it on your face, you would.
Mark Warburton was bidding to restore his image as the best thing since sliced bread as he led his QPR team to Adams Park to take on Wycombe. Here's what happened.
We'll get it together Saturday, I'm sure, because QPR are a very good side. First time in a long time I want QPR to get beat, but I'm hoping for the 3 points. I will give anything, you know, I mean, I don't need to give. My boys give, you know, we all give. It's what Wycombe Wanderers is. We don't take, we don't expect anything of anyone, but we give plenty.
Knights, and the ball goes into the near post and it's in. That is a terrible goal to concede from Wycombe Wanderers. McCarthy slid in to stop the cross from getting into the 6-yard box. Allsop was out of position and he can't prevent it from turning it into the bottom corner, and QPR have the lead from nothing. Edge of the penalty area, Mehmeti still going, goes for goal and scores! Anis Mehmeti with his first goal in senior football has found the equaliser for Wycombe Wanderers. A right-footed low shot, the end couldn't keep it out and it ricochets into the roof of the net. Wycombe 1, QPR 1.
First minute, Scotty, you know, he's gutted, he hasn't done better. Dowell's had a chance, Bale's had a chance. You know, we've had opportunities to score today. Crosses flashing across, you know, and Scott with his header as well, you know. So at this level, you must take them. You must take those chances. Anis Mehmeti came out and took his, you know, really well. I'm really pleased with him. But unfortunately, we got to rue those because the referee didn't do us any favours with the penalty, the absolute Stonewall penalty that wasn't given, and we scored for QPR, which doesn't feel great either. So it's one of those days where you're wondering probably how you didn't get all the points, but it was tough when the players were all coming in and saying that you know that was an absolute blatant penalty, and at 1-1 with that amount of time left, I thought there was only one team going on to win that.
It is frustrating, but it's the same thing coming after the games now. It's mistakes at both ends that are really, really costing you, and the Championship is brutal, isn't it?
Absolutely, it's both boxes, Phil. It is both boxes. There's not a lot in between those both boxes. There's some good play, there's some clever play, but once you get in those boxes, you must take your chances and you must stop your opponent scoring. And we, like I say, they haven't scored against us today. Ryan Allsop has made some, I think, 2 good saves. After that, I think his game's been pretty straightforward. Again, their keeper has probably had more to do, but we must be clinical at the other end, and we'll hopefully get better at that, whether it's training, whether it's transfer window, whatever it is. But I think we've worked out what it's going to take to stay in this Championship, and we're going to be working hard on that.
Anis Mehmeti, a fantastic moment for him, first goal in senior football, and he was released by Norwich, a Championship rival, and he's probably proving a lot of people wrong now, I think.
That boy will go on for a big career. I'm pretty sure of that. He's got everything. I've got to credit Sam Grace for bringing him in, for spotting him, and our scout Bob. He's quickly progressed into the first team, and again it showed today why I've got faith in him to come on the pitch and change games. He'll be pushing for a start very soon, and he's been unfortunate not to lately, but it's great to have someone so young and someone so talented on the books for once, and Rob Couhig's investment in a B team may pay off in one player here, because I'm sure there'll be plenty of people looking at Anis Mehmeti thinking, could he do a job in our squad? And let me know, yes he could, because he's a great talent.
The endeavour and the performance is still there, like it has been the last few weeks. Wycombe have gone bottom today. Psychologically, does that have an impact on you and the players?
Absolutely not at all. We're in the Championship, like I say. I've always said, if we're fighting to find a way to stay in the Championship, it's much better than plugging away in League One. You ask any manager where they'd rather be after 19 or 20 games, bottom of the Championship with a chance to stay up, or fighting in League One. I know the answer, so that's why I'm smiling. I've got all the faith in the world that these boys will have enough to stay up. We have Tafazoli, Thompson, Gape, all ready to come back, and obviously we've got Bloomfield on the sides, Patterson. We got some players that aren't in this squad that will make a difference as well. And that's January could be interesting. I'm hoping to be able to add 1 or 2 more, but at the moment we keep plugging away. We've got Bristol City now on Boxing Day, and I think it'll be their first game with fans for a while. So again, that goes against us, but it's just like this club, Wycombe Wanderers, to turn up at Bristol City for the first time in how many years and secure the win.
You mentioned the handball incident in the second half, no penalty given. I've not seen it back, but you seem pretty adamant that was a penalty. What did you say to the ref at the end?
I told him that how he's missed that, and he said he didn't see it. So I said, well, you've got to be in a better position to see it, because it's his job to see it. I don't think you could see 11 players react and 8 staff members react like they did. How we've all seen it on the pitch, and he hasn't, is a mystery to me. But that's refereeing. I'm going to get myself in trouble as always, and I've got my club secretary looking at me, and she doesn't want a letter from the FA, so we'll leave it there. It's a tough job, but I think we were denied a stonewall penalty today.
And the message going into Boxing Day then is to be more clinical, I guess.
Be more clinical, don't eat too much turkey, and enjoy your Christmas, which is going to be very strange with all the new rules that have come in. But keep the faith, Wycombe. It's a fantastic league to be in, and I want to be in it next year. We might have to do the survival to make sure you all see Championship football next year. I'll be telling the boys that, and thanks for all the faith and support from everyone. It's a fantastic club to manage, and never take one day for granted.
The QPR fans were none too happy after the game. Here's the opposition view, part 2. Camberley are
hanging on to snatch a point at Wycombe. How low we've sunk.
Denham Hoop 2.
We just have to find 2 more teams worse than us, because Wycombe are awful. Although we were lucky to get a draw because they missed some sitters.
Absites.
We looked clueless, toothless, disjointed, disorganised and easy to get at. scraping a barely deserved point against a rabble like Wycombe is completely unacceptable. The manager is failing spectacularly and must take responsibility for this depressing run of no wins and garbage football.
70s QPR.
Wycombe scored both goals, which says it all really.
Another Watford R.
But for a fluke own goal and a missed open goal, we would have gone down 2-0 to what are supposedly the poorest team in the division. Let's be in no doubt, Wycombe were better than us and we'll be lucky to survive in this division.
Rangers Raw.
Utter shambles. The back four were under enormous pressure and received no help from the midfield. Attacking wise, we created nothing. Players were getting caught on the ball, passing was poor, crossing was poor, and corners were wasted. We were second to the ball nearly all the time and didn't press them to force mistakes. If this carries on, we will be relegated.
Corbray.
Terrible second half. Wycombe are a mid-table League One side at best, but were more than holding their own there. This was Warburton's game to show everyone that his methods work and have potential, but that's just not happening. I hope the board are taking note.
1 QPR DK.
I am done with Warburton. I've been on the fence until today, but this game is the final nail for me. We were rubbish all game against arguably the worst team in the league. Players have responsibilities too, but if they can't play better than today, you wonder if we have the right man to improve them.
Ginger Ninja.
Can't even beat bloody Wycombe Wanderers. Warburton has to go, and he has to go now.
Loftus Road Lad.
Warburton's face in the last 5 minutes after their goal suggests he knows he's in trouble. But please, if he does go, not Gareth Ainsworth. I love the man to bits, but can you imagine watching that dross week in, week out? Wycombe did not deserve to lose that game. We did.
Right, that's your lot for this week. Many thanks to Daniel Gray and you for listening in. It's been a really hard year and a very tough couple of days ahead of Christmas. Take care of yourselves, and if anyone is down and in need of a chat, my DMs on Twitter are always open. Ringing the Blues will be back in the new year with news, I hope, of wins for the Chairboys. Happy Christmas and come on you Blues.